Picture this, a 7'2" center from China, nicknamed the Chinese Jokic for his insane passing and all-around game, projected to go undrafted. Expectations were so low that even he was just sitting in the crowd, munching on fried chicken, not even bothering to wear his suit because he figured his name wouldn't be called until the second round, if at all. Suddenly, Adam Silver steps to the podium and announces his name as the 16th pick in the first round.
The Memphis Grizzlies select Yang Hansen.
That's exactly what happened to Yang Hansen, and it might be the most shocking draft selection that changes everything we know about finding hidden gems in basketball.
Last year was Donovan Clingan, this year Yang Hansen.
The basketball world just witnessed something unprecedented. A 7'2" center from China, projected to go undrafted by most experts, somehow convinced the Portland Trail Blazers to trade up and select him 20 picks earlier than anyone predicted. But here's the twist that'll blow your mind. After seeing what this kid can do in Summer League, people aren't calling it a reach anymore. They're calling it the steal of the entire draft. China has 1.4 billion people, making it the second most populous country on Earth, yet they've only produced 6 NBA players in history. For a nation obsessed with basketball, that's a staggering statistic that haunts every young player picking up a ball in Shanghai or Beijing. The pressure to be the next Yao Ming is crushing, and for over 2 decades, nobody has even come close to filling those massive size 22 shoes. Yao Ming wasn't just a player, he was a cultural phenomenon who single-handedly grew basketball in China into the massive sport it is today. Standing 7'6" and dominating the NBA for 9 seasons, Yao proved that Chinese players could compete at the highest level. He was an 8-time All-Star, a Hall of Famer, and most importantly, he opened the door for future generations. But since his retirement in 2011, that door has remained mostly closed, with no Chinese player making a significant impact in the league. Yang Hansen's story starts in a place most NBA scouts never visit, the youth basketball courts of Shandong, China. While American prospects were getting featured on ESPN, this kid was quietly dismantling competition that nobody outside of Asia even knew existed. At 17 years old, Hansen did something that should have put the entire basketball world on notice, but somehow flew completely under the radar. The 2022 FIBA Asian Championship featured the best young talent from across the continent. Hansen didn't just play well, he absolutely annihilated the competition in ways that seem impossible for someone his age. Against India, he posted a casual double-double with 11 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. But that was just warm-up. Against Korea, he managed 7 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 blocks in only 22 minutes of playing time. Those aren't numbers. That's complete domination across every aspect of the game. The performance that should have changed everything came in the bronze medal game. With his country's honor on the line, this 17-year-old kid dropped 21 points on ridiculous 69% shooting, grabbed 8 rebounds, dished 3 assists, and blocked 3 shots. He didn't just win the game, he led the entire tournament in player efficiency rating while playing fewer minutes than almost everyone else. Yet somehow, basketball scouts dismissed it as just the Asian Championship. A year later, Hansen got his chance to prove the doubters wrong on the biggest stage possible. The 2023 FIBA Under-19 World Cup brought together future NBA lottery picks from every basketball powerhouse on the planet. Team USA, France, Spain, Serbia, all loaded with players who would become household names. This tournament would either expose Hansen as a product of weak competition or confirm that something special was brewing in China. His first test came against France, featuring 2 players who would become the number 1 and number 2 picks in the 2024 NBA draft, Zachary Reisacher and Alex Sarr. These weren't just prospects, they were considered the elite of the elite, future all-stars in the making. Alex Sarr in particular was being hailed as a defensive prodigy destined to become one of the best shot blockers in NBA history. Going head-to-head with these future lottery picks would reveal Hansen's true potential. What happened next shocked everyone paying attention. While Sarr managed 9 points and 9 rebounds on inefficient 38% shooting, Hansen completely outclassed him with 14 points on an incredible 86% from the field, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. This wasn't just beating a future NBA player, this was dominating someone considered a generational defensive talent. But that was only the beginning. Against Canada, Hansen grabbed 15 rebounds in a single game, forcing them to bring in their secret weapon, the tallest teenager in the world, 7'9" Olivier Roux from IMG Academy. Even that wasn't enough to contain Hansen's rebounding dominance. Against Spain, the eventual gold medal winners, he dropped 14 points on 71% shooting with 8 rebounds and 5 blocks. In every single game, Hansen proved he belonged on the court with the world's best young players. But the performance that truly announced Hansen's arrival came against Hungary in front of a hostile home crowd. In one of the most toxic environments you could imagine, this Chinese teenager remained completely unfazed and delivered a masterpiece. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 blocks. A stat line that seems made up. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was conducting a symphony of destruction across every aspect of the game. The numbers from that World Cup tell an incredible story. Hansen averaged 12.6 points, 10.4 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 5 blocks while shooting 54% from the field. Among all centers in the tournament, he led in rebounds, assists, blocks, and player efficiency rating. When compared directly to Alex Sarr, who was a year older and the number 2 draft pick, Hansen's numbers were superior across the board. Yet somehow, NBA scouts still weren't convinced. What happened next should have been impossible, but Hansen made it look routine. Most young international players struggle when they first turn professional, needing time to adjust to the speed and physicality of grown men. Even Victor Wembanyama had growing pains in his first pro season in France, but Hansen stepped into the Chinese Basketball Association and immediately became one of their best players. The CBA isn't some recreational league, it's packed with former NBA players, elite college stars, and seasoned professionals in their prime. For an 18-year-old to not just survive but thrive in this environment was unheard of. Hansen's third professional game provided the coming-out party that announced a new era in Chinese basketball. Against the Shanghai Sharks on the road in a hostile environment, Hansen exploded for 31 points on 71% shooting, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks in an overtime victory. That performance set the tone for one of the most impressive rookie seasons in CBA history. Hansen averaged 15 points, 10.8 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and 2.2 blocks while shooting 55% from the field. Among centers, he ranked top 10 in scoring, top 10 in assists, top 5 in rebounds, and number 1 in blocks. The hardware collection was unprecedented. Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star, and All-CBA First Team. An 18-year-old had conquered professional basketball in China. The comparison everyone made was to Yao Ming, but there's a crucial difference that makes Hansen's achievement even more remarkable. When Yao dominated the CBA as a teenager, the league was significantly weaker than today. Yao's success actually helped grow and improve Chinese basketball, meaning Hansen was competing against much stronger opposition than his legendary predecessor faced, yet he still managed to replicate similar success at an even younger age. While Hansen was dominating in China, NBA scouts remained skeptical. Despite possessing clear lottery-level talent, he was projected as a late second-round pick, or even undrafted. The basketball establishment seemed determined to ignore what was happening right in front of them. That all changed when the NBA extended a rare invitation to Team China to participate in Summer League activities, giving Hansen his first taste of American basketball. Playing against NBA Summer League teams in 2024, Hansen struggled initially, going scoreless in his first game against the Spurs, but his second game against Charlotte, featuring 6th overall pick Mark Williams, showed glimpses of his true potential. 12 points on solid shooting, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks might not seem spectacular, but the flashes of skill were undeniable. His footwork, court vision, and basketball IQ translated perfectly to the American game. Returning to China for the 2024-25 season, Hansen focused on addressing the one weakness in his game that scouts continuously questioned: his three-point shooting. The improvement was dramatic and immediate. His percentage jumped from 22% to 33% in a single season, proving his dedication to expanding his game and his coachability. This development transformed Hansen from a skilled big man into a potentially revolutionary offensive weapon. The season was filled with dominant performances that continued to build his legend. 31 points and 15 rebounds against Shandong, 29 points and 10 rebounds on 12 of 13 shooting against the Leopards, a performance so efficient it seemed like a video game glitch. 18 points and 7 blocks against the Royal Fighters. Each game provided more evidence that Hansen wasn't just talented, he was special in ways that traditional scouting couldn't properly evaluate. His international success continued as well, earning his first call-up to China's senior national team for FIBA Asian Cup qualifiers. Playing limited minutes against grown men representing their countries, Hansen shot an incredible 67% from the field and 100% from three-point range. Every level of competition he faced, Hansen not only survived but excelled, yet NBA teams remained largely uninterested. Everything changed at the NBA Draft Combine, the annual showcase where prospects perform drills and scrimmage in front of every team's decision-makers. Hansen's measurements and athletic testing were solid but unremarkable. His shooting drills were competent but not spectacular. But when the scrimmages began, something magical happened that completely altered his draft trajectory. In those scrimmages, Hansen displayed a skill set that scouts couldn't believe they were witnessing. His passing was Nikola Jokic-level creative, finding teammates with bounce passes and no-look feeds that seemed impossible from a 7'2" center. His basketball IQ was off the charts, making reads and decisions that veteran players struggle with. Most importantly, he did everything with an effortless grace that suggested his potential was barely scratched. The whispers started immediately. Team executives who had dismissed Hansen as a second-round project were suddenly asking their scouts to take another look. Private workouts were scheduled. Background checks were conducted. The basketball world was slowly realizing they might have overlooked something extraordinary. But one team had seen enough. The Portland Trail Blazers, known for their unconventional approach to talent evaluation, made a decision that would shock the basketball world. They didn't just want Hansen, they were willing to trade up to get him, ensuring no other team could steal their target. Draft Night 2025 will be remembered for many surprises, but none bigger than what happened at pick 16. When Adam Silver announced Yang Hansen's name, the basketball world collectively gasped. ESPN's final mock draft had him going 36th overall. Most experts didn't even have him in the first round. The Blazers had just selected someone 20 picks earlier than anyone predicted, and the reaction was swift and brutal. Critics immediately labeled it the biggest reach in recent draft history. Others suggested it was merely a marketing ploy to tap into the Chinese market. Social media exploded with mockery and disbelief. Hansen himself was so unprepared that he was sitting in the crowd eating fried chicken, not even wearing his suit because he never expected to hear his name called in the first round. But the Blazers didn't care about the criticism. They had seen something in their private workouts that they didn't want to risk losing. The footage of that workout, kept secret until after the draft, revealed exactly why Portland was so confident in their selection. Hansen's performance was nothing short of remarkable, showcasing skills that most 7-footers never develop in their entire careers. The narrative surrounding Hansen's selection shifted dramatically once NBA Summer League began. Playing against legitimate NBA talent for the first time, Hansen didn't just survive, he absolutely thrived in ways that validated Portland's controversial decision. His debut against the Golden State Warriors provided the first glimpse of what all the excitement was about. 23 minutes, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. Those numbers tell only part of the story. Hansen's court vision was extraordinary, threading passes that created easy scoring opportunities for his teammates. His defensive instincts were remarkable, blocking shots and altering others without fouling. Most importantly, he played with a poise and maturity that seemed impossible for someone making their Summer League debut. Game 2 against Memphis continued the trend. Another double-digit scoring performance with 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. But it was the little things that caught everyone's attention. The way he set screens, his positioning on defense, his communication with teammates. Hansen wasn't just talented, he understood the game at a level that can't be taught. His best Summer League performance came against New Orleans, where Hansen's shooting ability finally translated to game action. 15 points, 3 triples, and proof that his improved shooting isn't just luck. He also contributed 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal, stuffing the stat sheet in ways that reminded everyone of another versatile big man who started his career in Summer League. The comparison to Nikola Jokic became impossible to ignore. When photos emerged of Hansen walking through the tunnel next to the 3-time MVP, the visual was striking, but the statistical comparison made the comparison even more compelling. Hansen's 2025 Summer League numbers were remarkably similar to Jokic's performance 10 years earlier, when the Serbian was also an unknown international prospect trying to prove himself worthy of NBA minutes. Hansen averaged 10.8 points, 5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.2 blocks across 4 Summer League games. He shot 45% from the field, 33% from 3, and an encouraging 87% from the free throw line. But just like with Jokic a decade earlier, the statistics couldn't capture the full impact of what Hansen brought to the court. His passing ability was the most striking similarity to the Denver superstar. Hansen displayed the same court vision, the same creative instincts, and the same ability to make his teammates better. Like Jokic, he didn't need to dominate the ball to impact winning. Instead, he elevated everyone around him through smart play and unselfish decision-making. The defensive potential was perhaps even more intriguing. While Jokic has always been limited athletically on that end, Hansen showed rim protection ability that could make him a more complete two-way player. His 2.2 blocks per game in Summer League suggested he could anchor a defense in ways that Jokic never could. What makes Hansen's potential truly exciting is how his skill set fits modern basketball. He can initiate offense from the high post, space the floor with his shooting, create for teammates with his passing, and protect the rim defensively. That combination of skills is incredibly rare and incredibly valuable in today's NBA. The player development pathway is clearly established. Jokic arrived as a second-round pick with similar skills but needed years of development to reach his current level. Hansen is younger, more athletic, and arguably more polished at the same stage of development. If he follows even a similar trajectory, the Blazers might have found their franchise cornerstone. Portland's rebuilding timeline makes Hansen's selection even more brilliant. They're not expecting immediate contributions from a 20-year-old international player. Instead, they're betting on his potential to develop alongside their other young talent, Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and Donovan Clingan, creating a core that could contend for years to come. The fit with Clingan is particularly intriguing. While the 7th overall pick brings traditional rim protection and post presence, Hansen offers a completely different skill set that could create matchup nightmares for opposing teams. Imagine trying to defend 2 7-footers, one who can guard the paint and another who can facilitate offense from anywhere on the court. Hansen's international experience also provides advantages that most young players lack. He's competed against grown men professionally for 2 years. He's represented his country in high-pressure international tournaments. He's handled media attention and expectations that come with being considered the future of basketball in the world's most populous country. The cultural adjustment to American basketball and life will present challenges, but Hansen's maturity and work ethic suggest he'll handle the transition well. His English is already functional, his basketball IQ translates universally, and his humble personality seems perfectly suited to the grinding process of NBA development. What makes this story truly remarkable is how one draft pick could impact basketball on a global scale. If Hansen succeeds, he becomes the face of basketball in China, inspiring millions of young players and potentially opening new pathways for international development. The NBA's growing emphasis on global expansion makes Hansen's success incredibly valuable beyond just on-court production. The risk-reward calculation that Portland made is fascinating to analyze. Yes, Hansen could struggle with the NBA's athleticism and physicality. His shooting might not translate consistently. His defensive limitations could be exposed against elite competition. But the upside, the possibility of discovering the next great international superstar, made the gamble worth taking. Looking at recent NBA history, the teams that have found sustained success are those willing to take calculated risks on unconventional prospects. The San Antonio Spurs built championships around international players that other teams overlooked. The Denver Nuggets found an MVP in the second round. The Milwaukee Bucks traded for an unknown Greek teenager who became a two-time MVP. Hansen represents the same type of opportunity, a player whose unique skill set and development curve don't fit traditional evaluation methods, but whose potential impact could be transformational. The Blazers recognized this and acted decisively, ignoring conventional wisdom and outside criticism to secure their target. The early returns suggest Portland's evaluation was correct. Hansen's Summer League performance validated their scouting and development plan. More importantly, it showed that his skills translate to NBA-level competition and that his potential ceiling remains largely untapped. What happens next will determine whether this becomes one of the greatest draft steals in NBA history or a cautionary tale about reaching for international prospects. But based on everything Hansen has accomplished so far, dominating youth basketball internationally, conquering professional basketball in China as a teenager, and thriving in his first taste of NBA competition, the smart money is on success. The basketball world is watching Yang Hansen with intense curiosity and growing excitement. He represents hope for Chinese basketball, validation for Portland's unconventional approach, and proof that elite talent can emerge from anywhere if you're willing to look beyond traditional boundaries. Hansen's journey from eating fried chicken in the crowd to becoming the most intriguing rookie in the NBA is just beginning. Whether he becomes the next Yao Ming, the next Nikola Jokic, or something entirely unique remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the 20-year-old from China has already exceeded every expectation placed on him, and there's no reason to believe he's finished surprising people. The question isn't whether Yang Hansen will succeed in the NBA. Based on everything we've seen, that seems increasingly inevitable. The real question is just how high his ceiling truly reaches, and whether the Portland Trail Blazers just found their next superstar hiding in plain sight on the other side of the world.